Hey, Sean. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes.
I was gonna make you the host, Ron. Did you already do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Otherwise, I can't share. You're welcome. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So good afternoon. We had an appointment at 1 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock. Thank you for being on time. You've gotten the buyer consultation. You got the listing appointment. Okay, great. So today we're here for get a CMA in 10 steps. Okay, so active participation is welcome as it is because we learn better from each other. And we're going to start off with exploring what is a CMA. Can anybody tell me what a CMA is?
It's a comparable market analysis.
That is correct. That is the generic term. It is comparable market analysis. What is it not? Anyone?
It's not an appraisal.
Very good. And why is it not an appraisal?
Because we are not appraisers.
That's one reason. Very good, Terry Giles. That's one reason. What's the main reason why it's not an appraisal?
I can give my humble opinion, and it could be
Please
maybe
do.
because I don't know.
You're
I'm
right.
thinking because on an appraisal per se, they take into consideration a lot of measures and differences between properties, and could be the reason. I don't know.
You are right, and you can do that with this too. It is so sophisticated, you can do the same exact thing. In fact, what you're going to find out from me, as what I've learned from the beginning, this beautiful tool that most agents don't even know exist or use is used by appraisers. In fact, it used to say in the software, it used to say a comparison tool used by appraisers, and most agents stayed away from it because they said, oh, I'm not an appraiser, I can't use it. They have since reworded it that it's one is a comparison tool, the other one is a sales tool. So it's used by both. But the main reason why a CMA is not an appraisal is because we did not pay for it. We did not pay for it. A CMA cost absolutely nothing to the consumer. There is one appraisal that does cost money. Some of you may have heard it. It's coming back, making a strong comeback nowadays with the made of markets dipping. It's called a broker price opinion, better known as a BPO. BPO. BPOs back in the day is how we survived during the down crash. Used to drive by a home, do an exterior BPO, take 4 pictures, put 3 active, 3 sold, just like an appraisal. Send the 1 page in and get paid $60, $65. If they wanted to rush, it was double. Nowadays, the same exact item is 5 pages. Some of them will only pay you $25. If it doesn't pass quality control, you don't get paid. I strongly encourage you not to entertain doing BPOs nowadays, okay? And what's the other thing about BPO? The first word is what? Broker, which means what? Whatever you get paid, you share with your broker. So if you're getting $25 and you're on a 36% split, okay, you're basically working for peanuts. All right, so enough of that. All right, so let's get
Until we cap.
Until you cap,
Until we cap.
absolutely. Yeah, but even then, is $25 worth it to you for the time invested? Say no, okay? All right, so we are going to do get a CMA in 10 steps. And basically, I put in the chat box the materials that we will be using. You can download that and play along with the home viewing audience if you want, okay? Now, don't hesitate to stop me and ask questions. We're going to go right into the MLS and do this. Some of you may want to do this. That's fine, okay? The reality is, because I have a lot of material, I don't want to differentiate from not showing you guys every little piece of it. If you download the materials that I uploaded, I promise you, you can go step by step by step, and you'll have no problem with being able to do that, okay? Rusan, just look in the chat box on the bottom there, put on chat, and you should be able to go back to the chat, and it should be there. Okay, so I'm going to start with sharing my screen so we can get started. Okay, so we get in here.
Yeah, I still I can't find it because I think it's because I joined and it clears the chat whenever you join the Zoom meeting. I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to look for it.
Okay, so I'm going to reload it right now for you guys, okay? All right, so just give me one second. I'll get them all in there. So let's see, we need to go to file, and thank you for letting me know that. Okay, so we're going to go there, and that should load right there. Next one will be there, and we should be good. And then finally, the next one will be this one. That should be all of them. Please let me know if you guys do get that, so we, in case we don't, I can change up and get it to you. Okay?
Thank you.
No worries. All right, so I'm going to go with the premise that everybody knows how to get onto the MLS, the multiple listing service. I'll take that as a yes, correct? I hope so. All right, so can everybody see my screen? Oh, it's up here. So hopefully everybody can see it. All right, so you see the screen up there, all right? And what I'm going to do is go right through the material just like it is in the handout, okay? Or the download that you have. So first it says to log into Stellar MLS, which we have, okay? And it's going to say, select Matrix, your homepage for Matrix. It will look something like this, which is right in front of me, okay? Believe it or not, that's step number 1. Scary, but true, but easy. Next thing we're going to do is what? We are going to now type in the property address that we are going to use to do this CMA in 10 steps. So in the shorthand up top here, if you see the drop down there, you see I have 2231 Wyndham. That's the property address we're going to use. Now, the total address is 2231 Wyndham Palms Way, Kissimmee, Florida, 34747. The most beautiful part of this multiple listing service is less is more. And they finally put it in here where it says enter shorthand. Yeah, the less you put in here, the more you will get out of it. So if I put in 2231 Wyndham and then go over to the magnifying glass or hit enter on your computer, we'll wind up seeing this active listing, Wyndham Palms, 223 Wyndham Palms Way, Kissimmee, Florida, 34747. All right, so very simply, the next step would be to what? Let's click on the multiple listing service number, which is right here. Okay, there you see the full address and you see what's up there. Now, does anyone have questions at this point? Good, move on. Please, 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 please do not ignore these icons across the top here. They are your friends. They are your best friends. Most of them will help you to actually run your business the right way. Okay, if you don't know how to use them, hover over them, click on them. Don't be afraid. You can't break it. I tried. I've been trying for years to break this beautiful tool. Okay. The best part about it is you'll actually be able to learn some things about the business and help yourself. One attention I'm going to draw to you guys. Yeah, there's a little bit of contract in here that I'll do. Everybody see this paper clip here? A paper clip says attachments. What could those attachments include?
Seller disclosures,
Could be a
HOA.
seller's property disclosure in this office because you can't get your paycheck unless that's signed by both parties.
Mhm.
Could be an HOA rider, could be a lead-based paint rider if it's old enough. Could also be what? An itemized list of the property contents if it's coming furnished, fully furnished. That's good for you. Why? Well, when you're doing a CMA, if you're going to count the furniture, remember the bank don't care about the furniture. They pay 10 cents on the dollar. It's up to you and your buyer to discuss now, is it really worth it? Or are they giving you 15-year-old furniture like some places nowadays, okay? One thing I want to bring to your attention, if you don't see that paper clip, those of you that are working with buyers, I promise you, you will have trouble. You will have trouble with this transaction. Sad part is, even in this office, if I was to bring up the office listings, there are listings that don't have paper clips. That's scary because I know Bob will kick it right back to you if you don't have your seller's property disclosure at the least in there. All right, so let's move on with, let me see, I'm on step, I think it's 3. Let's go to step 4. So step 4 says to access the Realtors Property Resource Reports, RPR, click on the icon above the address. If you hover over it, it will say RPR Property Report. So if you hover at the last one on the end, it's called RPR Property Report. How many of you knew that existed? Okay. How many of you know that Realtor.com just stuck this in here about a month and a half ago? Yeah, that's another way to find out what the property is worth just by using that beautiful tool. And you can track with it too. We're going to use that later to help sell our argument what this property is worth. The same with a couple of the other ones up here. Market conditions, the data co-op property, but I'm not going to go into detail with that. That was my original 5-click CMA. So, yes.
The market conditions just was on the team. They just put that on there.
No, that's been there forever. Yeah. So is the co-op. All right. So we're going to click on RPR Property Report, which takes us now to a page. Now, if you are brand new to the MLS, meaning you just turned it on yesterday or just started with it, you may or may not see this page that comes up. If that is the case, Go to the bottom of the page. There should be an 888 or 800 number. Call RPR. They will have you on and going in less than 5 minutes. Okay? When I originally used to teach this class in Ignite, we would set it up the day before because most of the newer agents didn't have this set up. Now, if you do have it set up, you will see it says list price, 300,000. The RVM. Anybody tell me what the RVM is? Well, we'll just click on the eye. So the eye tells us in some markets, RPR displays the Realtors valuation model. It's a property estimates in addition to or instead of automated valuation model. Where do you find the AVM?
Realtor.com.
Where's that?
Realtor.com.
No, no, you wouldn't find it on Realtor.com. That's a good guess, though. I like that. I like that. You're thinking. Actually, where you would find that, let me see if I could do it real quick. I think it should do it. Screen still showing? It would be on the tax, where realist property tax will actually give you a real AVM. The real AVM, 290, value as a 1025, confidence score is 66. The closer it is to 100, the more confidence it is. AVMs typically, generally, usually are off by almost $50,000 sometimes, okay? See, because the estimated value is 327.7, that's the high, the low. The real AVM is 290, which is not that bad. It's one of the first times I've seen that with a confidence score of 66, that it's coming in like that. Typically, it's not, I wouldn't trust it. Why? Because it's computer generated score, which means they didn't pull from records. RPR pulls from the records. And what do I mean by that? It pulls from all of the sales data that it can find out. Okay? So now you just saw 2 ways that you can actually value a property. What's the third way? Your buyers know about it and your sellers do. Starts with a Z.
Zillow.
Hello.
Called the Zestimate.
Zestimate.
It's called a Zestimate. So I've been doing this for a few years now, and what I've learned, since we all live in beautiful Florida and we worry about hurricanes, remember when the hurricanes come, they give you the spaghetti models, right? And the European model says the hurricane's going this way, the other one says it's going that way, and the other one says it's this way. So the AVM does a decent track. Zillow, we know, is all over the place. RPR is the closest track to that exact location. Okay? What's going to happen today is I'm going to prove to you guys by just clicking on RPR that this is the price that the home should be, 286, 390. When it's 5-star confidence, that you could probably cash in and take it to the bank without even doing a CMA. Without even doing a CMA, that's probably what it's worth as long as it's 5 stars. Now, this was last updated on 10/7. They usually update every 2 to 4 weeks, two times a month. So it may come out tomorrow that this may be higher or lower. We don't care. What we're going to do is create a CMA. That's why you're here today. Okay? All right. Any questions so far? Everybody playing along? Very good. I like that. All right. So it's going to say next, we're going to click on Create button to build a comp analysis for this property. So as we click on the Create button, it's going to take us to our next screen. And our next screen will show us the property details. So the property details are the address, how many days it's been in RPR. 326. List date, 12/12/2019. Amount was listed for 300,000. 1834 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2002. Remember I told you where they used to have about the appraisers? So the sales comparison analysis used to see here a more detailed evaluation used by appraisers. And no agent would touch it because they said, I'm not an appraiser. It's not true. It's just that they're using the more detailed approach. Remember when you said, well, an appraiser can do more detail? Yeah, you can do the same thing here. You can tweak it. You can actually use this beautiful tool to add a brand new deck, to add a new pool, to subtract, whatever you want to do. I don't encourage that strongly. Why? Our job here is to get the value in 10 steps or less as quickly as possible. We value our time, correct? Okay, so I want to touch on one thing. We said that the property has been on the market 326 days in RPR, okay? Now, that's not totally accurate. RPR is tracking everything that it's been. If we go back to the listing, okay, come on, MLS, don't play around. There we go. How many days is it actually on the market? 172 days, okay? So who's learned the rule of thumb? Rule of thumb is typically, generally, usually when it's on the market for more than 35 days or more, it is typically generally what? Overpriced.
Obsolete.
Priced.
Obsolete. I like that, Terry. Yeah, it's obsolete. There you go, girl. It's typically generally overpriced. Okay. Remember, guys, there's two reasons a house does not sell. A house does not sell. Either it's overpriced or there's something wrong with it. Except, and those of you in Ignite should appreciate this, the Daily 10-4 is designed to do what? 10 contacts, 10 in the database, 10 note cards, and 10 homes previewed. This home has been on the market for 172 days. It is not overpriced and there is nothing wrong with it. The reason the clock is ticking, it is in one of the most successful full-blown manned 24-hour gated resorts 2 miles from Disney World. And the seller refuses to give up the rentals to let you in and see it, so the clock keeps ticking. Now, if you didn't know that or hadn't previewed that, if your buyer sees that, they're probably going to say, oh no, I'm putting in a low ball offer because there's something wrong with it. It's up to you to preview and know the properties. So this way you can tell them, no, this is in one of the most successful short-term rental communities. Okay? All right, so let's get back to our CMA. Okay. So with our CMA, the next thing we're going to do, as it tells us, is to confirm the facts. So what facts are we going to do? We can modify the facts about this property, square footage, bedrooms. We will use these facts when you search for comps. Okay? All right. So we're going to confirm the facts. It brings us to this next page. And I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to see if I can make this a little smaller so that you can see the length of it. All right. So you'll see on the left side, it says public record data, single family residence, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3 full baths. Listing data is 4-bedroom, 3 baths, 3 full baths, 1834 square feet. Lot size, they say 10,000. The other one says 6490. Which one is right? Well, the listing data is up to 10,000 square feet. That's the field. That's what it's pulling from. The exact size is probably 6490. Okay. Lot dimensions are 6490 square feet or 50 by 130. Okay. Now, does it matter? Does it matter the number of bedrooms?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What's that?
Because we have to compare apples to apples.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, who does the number of bedrooms have meaning to? The buyer. The buyer, absolutely.
buyer.
So if that said 10 bedrooms, what would the buyer think? Being that it's 1834 square feet.
They're really small.
Really small, exactly. Exactly. Because the square footage is the only thing that who cares about, the property appraiser. Why? Because that's what the taxes are based on. Okay? So if you see this is wrong, and why am I bringing this to your attention? In 2005, when we had the boom, today they are still fixing property appraisers where it says number of bedrooms 2 and it's a 5-bedroom home. Okay? Remember that as a listing agent. Doesn't matter because the property appraiser don't care as long as the square footage is right. But you want to make sure that it's accurate, you as the listing agent or you as the buyer's agent, because you want to make sure it's accurate. How do you find out which way it's accurate?
Go and measure yourself.
Go preview it. Exactly. Go preview it yourself. Very good. Yep. All right. So if we're okay with everything that we see, we'll leave it alone. If not, on the right side, it says your changes. You can click in those boxes, add, or whatever you want to do. We're going to go confirm, fax, and close, which takes us to our next screen. So the next screen says, and this is very easy to follow, it says search for comps. Okay? So I'm just going to hit the find comps button. Has anybody in here used Cloud CMA? Has anybody heard of Cloud CMA?
Me.
Me? Okay, Mimi. Cloud CMA, while it's not bad, Cloud CMA puts in leases and you have to subtract 17 of what they give you because usually you ask for 20. With RPR, you just choose what you need and don't worry about the rest of it. Okay? All right, so search comps that you want to use. All right. The most important thing you want to know, guys, is the year it's built, the number of bedrooms, baths, and the square footage, the living square footage. So make a mental note of it, write it down, whatever makes sense to you. It is 1834 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it's built in 2002. Okay. So with that in mind, we're going to scroll down. Now, some of you may like to use the shape, which means you either draw a polygon, rectangle, or circle. This is the subject property right here. So you would draw a circle around it. The thing about drawing a rectangular stuff, make sure that you include only the subdivision that you're talking about. Why am I saying that? Does anybody know? So in this instance here, I'll tell you exactly. This community is 24-hour man-gated. Okay? The community right next door to it is not man-gated. Same size homes, no resort amenities, no 24-hour guard. If you start pulling these comps, it's probably not true to form. Okay? Same with the one across from it is not a full man-gated community. So you have to know what you're dealing with. So for my own purposes, I've learned through attrition to just go with the basic search. Now, I used to tweak it because an appraiser looks behind what happened yesterday. They don't look ahead. They're not fortune tellers. And generally, we were taught to look only 90 days behind. That's not true nowadays. I've had appraisals in the last year where they've gone back a year if they can't find comps. They will adjust for time. They will adjust for square footage. Okay, so don't get yourself hung up on that. So the default right now is within 6 months. I'm going to leave it like that. You could also tweak it with living area. You could bring this right down to exactly, let's say 1,500 to 2,000. I'm going to leave it at 1,300 to 2,300. I don't care because I want to be able to pull as many as I can to choose from. The next thing is the square footage year built. I just leave it alone. All we're going to do is hit the search button. The search button will now generate comparables for us. So it gave us 63 sold properties to choose from. A potpourri. That's wonderful. All right, so bring a little attention to this. The subject property is in yellow. Recently sold is green, if you see the legend there. Off market in gray, pending, for sale blue, and pending distress. Oh, we have distressed properties in there. Yep, there are still distressed properties out there. Be very careful, because when you use these distressed properties, they may have gone through a foreclosure. They may not have anything in them. You would have to look and see the adjustments to make sure. That's number one. Number two, if you look to the right of the year of the property, you will see blue stars. What does the blue stars tell us?
For sale.
Well, actually, it tells us that
Oh.
these are the properties that were used by RPR to make the Realtors valuation model. Now, are you going to use these properties? Maybe, maybe not. It depends who you're representing, what you're trying to get across. If you are representing a buyer, what do you want to do with it? You probably want to push it up a little bit. You want to show them that they're getting a bargain at the list price and there's equity in the home. This way they don't lowball off of you. With a seller, you want to keep it as true to fact. I want to list it at 350. If it's only coming in at 300 or 315, I can't list it at 350. That's what the market's telling us. So this tool can be used to your advantage on both sides. All right. Okay. So easiest way that you can do this is a basic computer skill. Does everybody see the living area field? If you click on the living area field, it should change it now to high to low. Okay, so right there it's at 2297 square feet. The easiest way to do this, my friends, is we know we're looking for 1834 square feet. That's what the subject property is. So I'm just going to scroll down to 1834 square feet. Okay, so I see 1834 square feet and I start looking. First thing I'm going to look at is distance. Distance. So 0.34 of a mile is probably right down the street. Okay. 0.1 of a mile is probably almost next door. Okay. And as I keep scrolling with the 1834, I'm also looking at the sold dates. I want the most current that I can possibly use. That would be nicer, right? So if we look here, we see this 8207 Fan Palm Way is 0.3 of a mile right down the street. It sold on 10/27/2020. Today is November 2nd. That's 5 days ago. It sold for $284. To start to add it to our set of comps, we're just going to click on add to the comp list. Okay. The next one that we're going to use, let me see. Let's see what we got here to choose from. Okay, 8214. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Look at that. That's all right. 8207 was the one I wanted to click. We're using that one. And guess what? We are using 82014. That sold the very next day. Same square footage. Okay, 284, 290. Okay, so we see what the market's doing. Okay, last one I'm going to use is 8186. That sold on 9/30. That was a month before. And that sold for 293. So those are the three sold comps I'm going to use. Could I use 4?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just be careful. I used 4 one time and my buyer used the lowest one of the 4 to start off with the price. Okay. So just be careful. All right. So now we want to do 3 active and pending. Before I go to the active pending side, I want to show you how it's starting to build a list on the right side of a range, 284 to 293, based on the 3 comps that we put in there. So now I'm just going to scroll down to the blue section, which is the active and pending. Okay, so we have active pending. I'm still just going to go right down to 1834 square feet. And you'll see that there are some available for us to look at. Okay, so 8109 Fan Palm is listed for $295. It listed on 10/9 3 weeks ago. I'm going to use that one. Let's see, the next one I want is 10/22/2020, 8000 King Palm Circle. This one is actually pending. How many buyer's agents I got here? Okay, so here's the script. Ring, ring. Hi, Mr. Listing Agent. I understand that 8000 King Palm Circle is pending right now. I have a couple of questions for you. Let me ask you, did you get full price for it? Thank you. Okay. You're probably not going to be able to get them to say if it was lower or not. You could probably get them to tell you if it was at or above listing price. The reason they're not going to tell you full price, if the deal blows up, then you already know what to tell your buyer to put in as an offer. And what can happen with that information, that helps you to make your CMA more accurate. Okay. Some of them may not tell you anything. And if you don't ask, you don't receive. You must ask if you're going to use this comp. Okay. All right. So we're going to use this one, 8000 King. Let me see. What else did I have? 8109. And let's see. Thought I had one more. Let's see. 81. Thought it was 8158. I had selected this 1023, 8058, I think it is. Yeah, that's it, 8058. So you see, all 3 of them are the exact same square footage, okay? What I want you to pay attention to is, if you'll notice, if I scroll down, this one, Oneida Loop on 1028 is 0.6 of a mile at 289. Does anybody know why I didn't use that?
Less square footage.
That square footage is not that bad. The real reason is it's not even in the same subdivision. This is in the subdivision next door. Okay? And you might be tempted to use this. And look, if you take something that's out of it, don't beat yourself up. That's how you learn. Okay? So now that we have our 3 active and 3 sold, you'll notice on the top right here, we started to get a spread range of 284 to 319. All the comps are there, and it tells us exactly what to do with the next step. So the next step would be to update valuation and close. So now when I hit that, it already gives us a number. It gives us a number of 296,150. 296,150. That's based on the comps and comparables that we used. Okay. What was the original thing that RPR told us? 286. And that was like 3 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah. 286. let me ask you a question. If you're representing a buyer and you pull this up, is the chances of them giving a lowball offer greater or less? Okay, all right? Because you're telling them that the market has changed, that from 10/7 to almost a month later, it went up almost $10,000. Okay. Neat trick, ain't it? If you started here and didn't even do this, you'd still be okay. I'll show you why in just a moment. All right, now, before we do that, I need to go back. Let me see, where were we? I need to take this back so we keep the order going the way we were. Oh, okay, so there we are, 296, 150, okay? And that is the valuation that we came up with, the average of comps. So the next thing, and is everybody following along? Does anybody have any questions at this point? We're good? Okay, I'll go with Terry Giles, nodding her head. Very good. Thanks, Terry. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is go right up to where it says create a report. It's on the top right. Now, guys, there is a lot of free information here for you guys to use. It's amazing how much we already pay for and we don't even use, okay? Remember, the first script in Ignite says, I have a wealth of timely information. Do I have your correct email address and physical address? Well, right here is a seller's report, okay? All you have to do is tweak it, either take away or don't take away, who cares? So I was dealing with a out of country seller. The seller was in the UK and I sent him a mini market activity report, just trying to give him some information. Realized that he's a high C. He wanted more information, more information, more information. I said, I don't know what to do. So then I started perusing RPR. I came here and his address, make believe, was this address here. I clicked on the seller's report and I said, let me see. I looked at the sample. The sample report is how many pages? That's what I emailed him. I just took the report and downloaded it and emailed him 75 pages. It has more graphs, more charts, everything you can imagine about his specific property only with one click. Didn't cost me a dime. I don't pay for emails. Okay? This is a valuable tool that most agents don't know that they should use or how to use it. The valuation workbook, that's another one that's great. Let's go with the property flyer. Anybody do open houses here? Yeah, just pick one of the pictures here. And all you gotta do is go show the sample. Well, that's the seller, excuse me. Go here, property flyer, hide the details, show the sample. There you go. Put in your own information, charming thing, blah, 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 with your information. Quick and easy and done. It's sitting there for you guys to use. Please, please use it to your advantage. All right. Okay, so for our purposes, we're going to use the property report here. The property report here, I've tweaked it. You don't use historical photos. You don't use the refined value. Comp analysis is not needed. And anything below the sales and financing activity. I've put a copy of it in the chat, and those that are here have a live copy. You will see that it's a very easy thing to use. It's also branded to you. As long as you go up to the gear wheel on the top right here, put in all your information so they can see that. And it's one of the most professional CMAs you could ever give them. Okay? And it's basically, if you do it two-sided, I think it's 6 pages, 7 pages. That is not a lot and gives you everything that you need for them when you're doing your CMA. Once you decide you're going to use this, just go down to, you can personalize your report and send it to them right through the system here. I don't encourage you to do that. What I would tell you to do is just display it now so you can proofread it, make sure it's exactly what you want to do. You would hit the run report. The run report takes about anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. If you have your sound on your computer, when the report is finished, You will hear a doorbell. The doorbell will tell you that it is complete. Oh, come on. Don't be that bashful. Let me see. Oh, it's still working. Pending, like it says. While we're waiting for the report, please note, you'll see these reports are here on the left. The system purges every 30 days. So if you have a report that you want, make sure you download it. Oh, there we go. Successfully generated. I download the report. Now I have to switch the screen. We want to show you guys exactly what that looks like. Let's see. So. Stop. Share. There. So this is what it looks like. Gives you a nice front page. You brand it to it, right? Everything the way you want. You can set this up. It'll next tell you about the property. So it says, my property analysis, 296, 150, 300 is the list price. The current estimated value was 286. That was 3 weeks ago. Okay. Now, if you don't want them to see that price, eliminate it. How do you eliminate it? Either eliminate the page, or you can use Adobe, what the hell is it? PDF Escape, and you can actually modify this. That's free from Google. Google, my best friend. Next thing, it tells you about the home facts. Do we really care about it? No, but it's for them. It's for their benefit. It looks like we did something fabulous, right? Extended home facts, telling them about the interior features, exterior features, the property report, the location, what's going on. And RPR does this automatically. The photos, okay? Nowadays, you can get 100 photos, so don't use the historical photos, or you'll have 7 pages of photos. They don't need that, okay? Comps and adjustments, yes, you definitely want that, because the first page does what? It shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of the comps that you have. So they see exactly, this is their property right here in yellow, or the subject property. These are all, and guess what? These are all in the same community. Fan Palm Way, King Palm Way is all the same community, okay? Then it shows a list. It'll give you this property, then it'll give you the for sale ones and the recently sold. So it tells you exactly, and then of course the pending one. All right, as they list that. Next thing, the property history showing what happened from the boom when they bought it all the way up here in January of 2000. Well, they bought it in 2002, before the boom, how it went up to almost 500,000 in 07. Then took a nosedive to less than 100,000 in January of 11, and how it's creeped up since to where it's at 300. Okay. Sales history, it was 2002, purchased for $210,000, a steal. Okay. All right. Tells you about who the property owner is. The next thing shows you how things happened in this community, going from 215 to now 221 coming up. Price changes, if there was price changes. And then the last page, which I'm very happy that RPR put that out, is it explains in detail what RPR does. First of all, it's a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Association of Realtors. Anybody in this room with the National Association of Realtors? Yes. Which means what? Nobody else has access to this unless you are a realtor. RPR's data explains to them what the RPR data does for you, how intense it is, how it does everything that we need. Those of you that may or may not be in commercial, there's a commercial side to this also, okay? The update frequency, listings and public records data are updated on a continuous basis. We find that it's about every 2 to 4 weeks that they update, okay? With that in mind, this is what your CMA should look like if you decide to use it with them, okay?
So this is more catered to the buyer.
Nope,
Even the seller too?
hell, of course it will. What would I do with the seller? I would choose comps that are higher or right where he wants to be. Let's put it that way. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, where do you need to be at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like this scenario right here would be more catered to the buyer.
The way we just did this is to show the buyer that it's worth the 300,000. Yes, in this case, we're working for a buyer. If it was the seller, of course, you would have already pre-qualified the seller. What is your net? Well, you tell me, I don't know what it's worth. Well, where did you want to be at? Okay, I want to be at 350. My job would be to show that it's not worth 350. I would still use the 315, 315s because that's all it's going to be the max. Mr. Seller, you're probably floating around 315. I will take it at 340. Why would I take it at 340? My job is as a fiduciary to get the highest and most. 340 is because I know the smart buyer's agents are going to come with a lower offer. If the smart buyer's agent comes at 325, the only thing we got to worry about is what? An appraisal. And I still got my seller 10,000 more than they were asking. Always build in negotiation. Always. Okay. All right. So any questions on the 10-step CNA so far? Everybody's good? I should do a homework assignment.
Great.
Do it and show it to me. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so next thing we're going to do here is we said that it's probably worth 296, correct? Okay, so on the last page of the handout, we have links. Does everybody see that? If you have the handout, you should see the links. Okay. So what we're going to do is use the links to justify why the 296 works. So the first thing we're going to do, let me see, I have to get my screen up shared again. And let's see, I think I can do this and I think I can tap, I hope. Okay, so. Can everybody see the first one there? It says Bank of America. I'll take that as yes.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good. Thank you. All right. So while Bank of America is not our friend, you may think he's your friend, but it's not. The banks, they're not our friends. Anyway, what you're going to do is very simply, you copy the address. Okay. And the next thing you're going to do is right here on Bank of America's site. Sorry. There we go. See where it says home value? All you're going to do is put the address in there. Okay. You see the home value, the address come up, you click on it. Bank of America is going to give you a figure. Oh my goodness. What does it say? 294. Oh, chagrin. Look at that. So we said 296. They say 294. Look at that. Okay. So that's one culprit. The next,
But the square footage is not.
that's the total square footage. We don't care
Oh, the
about that.
total, okay.
Yeah, that's the total square footage. The next one is the other one. That's another nasty one. That's called Chase Bank. The reason we love Chase Bank so much is why? Well, let me see if I get into there. I'm going to put the property in there, right? Same way. We're going to click search. Property should come up. The property value is $282,500. Okay. Why do we like Chase? Well, the reason we like Chase, let's see, is on the bottom here. They used to say it. Chase pulls their information from CoreLogic. Does anybody know who CoreLogic is? Who's CoreLogic?
Realtor.com.
CoreLogic is who owns Stellar MLS. That's who built our MLS. So they're pulling the same data from our MLS to give you this estimate. Okay? All right, that's number two. I have a third one. The third one is Realtor.com. Realtor.com, you tell them to publish, check your home's value and more. That's simple. So where do you think people are coming up with this stuff? You could say Zillow because that's where they mostly go. Click find out more. Realtor.com now will tell you 285. Amazing. 285. Okay. So Realtor's at 285. Now, because you are a realtor, you can actually use that from your multiple listing service. There's an icon where it goes in there and you track it as the agent. You can track that if you're tracking for your owner or you're tracking for a buyer that you may have. What's the next guy that we have? So I did RPR, Realtor, Bank of America, Chase. Some of you may have gone to this class called Remind, right? Everybody loves Remind, and there's nothing wrong with Remind. Remind is okay. So Remind works the same principle. Click the search. Put it in, and let's see if I find it. Yep. Brings it up, and then only thing you have to do here is hit the Valuation tab. Valuation tab says what? 288,520. Yes, individually 288, 285, 292 from Redfin. So if you were to take all five of them and add them up, the average would be 288. The average would be 288. That's what the home is coming in valued at. So let me ask a question. Oh, come on, internet, work. If I went with the 286 in the beginning, did I have to do anything else? You could say no. 288 is what five different things told me. 286, I could have taken it to the bank with 5 stars. Okay. Now, can you use all 5 of them when you're doing your listing presentation or your buyer consultation? You could say yes, print them all out. Here's the easiest script, guys. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, according to Bank of America, not according to Ronnie, not according to John, Jean, or Judy. According to Bank of America, it's worth $295. If you were to go into the bank and ask for a loan, it would probably appraise for $295. Now, based on the other comparables that I have, and if you don't like the $295, throw it out, keep all the 280s. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I recommend we offer 280 right now. It's still less than the 286, right? You're going to hope that the seller comes back with 290, you close the deal and be done with it. Instead of, well, it's been on the market 172 days. Let's offer 250 and see what happens. And then you lose out, you get beat out, you're fighting an uphill battle. These are the tools that you can use to get things done. Okay? All right. Any questions on that? You want to say no? Oh, okay. All right. So I want to show you guys, and yes, this is going back in time because I did this a while ago. So I had a buyer in the same development, come to think of it, 8078 King Palm Circle. Okay. 8078 King Palm Circle. It was listed at 315. Okay. The sales price was 296,900. Did I save the buyer a good chunk of money? So it's 15, 16, 17, about 18,000, correct? Anyway, by using RPR, that's the only thing I did was take 3 comps, give it to him. It took me less than 10 minutes to do the CMA and produce it to him. We started at about, and this is where I made the mistake. I had the 4th property in there and we started at 280. We rounded up at 296. And it was listed at 315. We sold it at 297. That's about 18,000 less. That's still a great deal for my buyers. And it gets even better. I got him a seller's credit of $8,900, $9,000 to a roof. Just by using RPR, I saved $27,000. That proved to me, don't be afraid to negotiate. Don't be afraid to use this tool. And that's what I'm trying to get a point to you guys. It's a great tool using the other different things that you can use with it. And it will help you to get your buyers on pace and get your sellers on pace. Because today, most sellers are saying what? All I gotta do is put a sign in the yard and they'll pay me what I want. Not true. Not true. Okay, there is still stuff that's not selling. You hear it all the time. All right, so that's pretty much how to do the CMA. I still have some stuff for you. I want to know, is there any questions on everything we went on over so far? I'll take that as a no.
No.
Okay, very good. All right, so somebody didn't ask the question that should have been asked. This is a great tool, but what happens when the property is not in the MLS? What happens when the property is not in the MLS? My home is brand new construction. My home don't show up on here, never will, until I list it. So what do you do then? Okay. What you do then is, can everybody see the screen still, or do I have to switch it?
Yeah, we can see it.
You see the Google screen?
Yeah.
Oh, good, then it's working. Excellent, thank you. So the Realtors Property Resource is built by the National Association of Realtors, called NARRPR.com. Okay, so wait a minute, let me get this back to the, let me do this the right way. This is not doing what I want. All right, come on, RPR work. Let me see, why is this picking this up? It shouldn't. Okay, so there is the standalone. Search 159 million properties, 2.1 million for sale listings, 492,000 distressed properties. When the property is not listed in the MLS, this is where you go. Now, I'm very fortunate today to have Miranda Juarez on this call. Miranda, where are you from? Kentucky, correct?
Louisville, Kentucky, yes.
So we could look up the home that you just left and comp it from here, correct?
You could.
That's the point. So let's say that Miranda was my all-knowing, all-loving, all-telling realtor in Kentucky, and she was still operating there. And I sent my cousin to live there. I could actually pull up this property And if she wasn't using RPR, I could guide her or encourage her to see if these were the comps and tell me if it's true. I've done this with friends of mine that moved to Tennessee when they told me this is the home that they want to put an offer in on, and I guided them with what it should comp for. If you're not born and raised in Orlando, go look up the home that you were born in. You can comp it right from here, okay? What else is great about this tool? Okay, so I'm going to say 2 words I know you don't want to hear. Lead generation. If you click on market activity, you can actually look for expired listings. Market activity, you can look for expired listings. How many of you like to look for, well, let's put it this way. Most buyers, the number one thing they're looking for is a what? Good school zone. You can actually search the schools right here, either geographically or by the district. You can actually just type in, oh, let's go 32819, enter. So here are the schools with the ratings. Oh, look at that, they give me the ratings. Oh my God, isn't that phenomenal? So Dr. Phillips Elementary School, 1 block up the street here from the office, is an A- rating. It's still not a bad school, but here's the best part. You can get a report to give to your buyer, or you can get the nearby properties for sale. Reverse prospecting, reverse property search. You don't even have to use the MLS to search. You could use RPR right here to search for these properties. And then it gets even better. So you don't have a $7 million buyer. Go into the minimum maximum range. Let's just go 200 to, oh, just for giggles, 350. And Dr. Phillips. What? Can't be, Ron. Oh, look what comes up here. There's a single family home. 340. Oh my goodness. In Dr. Phillips. Lo and behold. 350. In Dr. Phillips. Okay? It's a very powerful tool, guys, that you can use. How many of you know that there's a mobile version? If we have time, I'll show you how to do the mobile version. Okay? Any questions so far on everything we've discussed? No, we're good?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So I want to move on then to the next part on the handout there. On the last page, we did RPR. We did Bank of America, Chase. If you want to watch a hour-long webinar, it's the last one on the bottom, perfect pricing with easy, accurate CMAs from RPR. They will actually go into depth on how you can tweak it, like you guys were asking about, okay? But the last thing I want to discuss with you guys right now is it's called MLS Advantage. Has anybody ever heard of it or used it before?
Never heard about it.
Who heard about it?
I never did.
Okay. So MLS Advantage is where realtors in Florida share listings. Share listings. Where do you go to find this? Well, most of you probably know about this website. You heard of the website, but you don't use the website. That website is called floridarealtors.org. O-R-G. Those of you that come to the Monday morning quarterback, now moving till Tuesday morning, tomorrow, you saw the fun stats there. If you look right on the first page of floridarealtors.org, MLS Advantage is sitting there. All right. Don't try to log in now because you have to register first, find yourself through the MLS. Why am I talking about MLS Advantage? MLS Advantage is the hidden MLS. It's one of the most powerful tools agents don't know exist and don't use like they should. So let me ask a question. Can somebody tell me our multiple listing service, all of the multiple listing service numbers start with what?
A letter.
They start with a letter. So when your buyer says 0, try not to laugh too hard. That's an O. Okay? And what does that stand for?
I'll see all hour.
No, it sounds for Aura. S is for Oscar, Osceola. Okay? That's all right.
Okay.
No worries. That's how you learn things. Okay? All right. So with that in mind, since you know that, and you tell your all-loving buyer, yeah, just give me the address or the multiple listing service number. Okay? And they rattle off a number to you. And you go looking it up in the MLS and can't find it. Or you look at them and say, no, I'm sorry, that's not an MLS number. So the number I'm going to use for our purposes here is RX-103-82881. Is that an MLS number? Actually, those of us
Yes.
that take medicine knows that's what? That's probably a prescription, RX.
Yes.
So if I put it in my MLS Advantage and I search it, it is in fact a live listing. That listing is located in Bay Hill section, 32836. It is 2.19000. Okay? So let's use
But
this
Ron, who
number.
gave you the RX number?
I'm sorry?
Who supplied you with the number with the RX?
My buyer.
Oh, okay.
My buyer
Yeah.
saw it on Zillow or Realtor and said, you told me to give you the number. Here's the number.
Oh, I see.
I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
know that this is in MLS Advantage. I probably would have said, nah, that's incorrect. That's the wrong number. And I'd be
Right.
totally
Okay.
wrong. Because let's say we've looked all over for something in 2.2 million range and there's nothing there. This is sitting out there active right now. The reason its number is RX, it's because it's not listed with us. It's listed with the Beaches MLS. The Beaches MLS are stealing our listings. Yeah. Truth be told, a lot of listings are being stolen here because agents don't know to go after them. And what's the beautiful part about using this? If you hit the view details screen, it'll have the property details with about the pictures that it has. This one has 39. If you notice, there's a tab that says listing details. The listing details will now tell you, oh, look at that. They're going to pay you 2.5% as a buyer's agent. As a trans agent, 2.5%. There's the licensee, the phone number, you give the owner's number. Sometimes you'll see an owner's phone number there. Ooh, opportunity. If that was what? Expired or terminated
Expired.
or withdrawn. Yeah, you could actually look for expireds in here, guys, because it's not listed in our MLS. All right. If they have an electronic lockbox, it must work here because it has to be on our frequency. All right. Any questions about it?
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to go into a little more detail with this, if you don't mind. So I want to show you guys exactly. I have a couple of more listing numbers. This one does not have a letter previewing it, and yet 32819. There's another listing, the Daytona Beach Association. That's their number, and that number is also used by Northeast Florida for a totally different property in Jacksonville. So you've looked high and low in 32819 for something under 700,000, can't find it, and then your buyer calls you and says, how come you didn't send me this one? Because they found it. When you run out of places to look, MLS Advantage would be your new best friend to do it. Okay? All right, so let's try another one. And these are all current right now. Here's another RX. $359,000 in Winter Garden. How many of you told me I can't find anything under 400 in Winter Garden? It's too expensive. You didn't look hard enough. Okay, this is listed by the Beaches Association. Here's what happens with this, guys. When this goes on, what really happens is these properties sit because agents don't know how to find it. Okay, they don't know that they should look for it. Let's see if I try another one. This is in Windermere, 4.2 million withdrawn. Is that an opportunity? That's an opportunity. You won't find this in your MLS. You will not see it at all. And if you go to the view details, you will see what was going on. They probably took it at 5%. You can assume that, right? If they're given a co-broke of 2.5, that means they're 5% listing. Who cares? Okay. The other, let's see if I find another one. I should have one more. This one is in is actually in Bay Hill section, right up the block, listed by the Miami Association of Realtors. Okay, 2.5 million. Why are these listings here? Does anybody know? I have a theory. So let's say that you live in Miami and you have your all-knowing and all-telling realtor, your favorite realtor down there, and you approach them and say, you know that vacation home that I have right outside of Disney World, can you list it for me? Why wouldn't you say yes? Okay. Remember, you can sell anywhere in the state. It might be better to refer it out. And at the end of the day, it depends what's going on. This is why these listings exist. Now, why is this powerful tool so important to us? Well, if you go to search, okay, and you're looking, real quickly, all you have to do is put in the city. So I'm going to go with, yeah, because everybody doesn't sell anything less than $1 million. Let's see. Not Winter Haven. Let's try Windermere. Let's try active. Let's try withdrawn. Let's try expired. Let's try terminated. Okay. Zip code will automatically come up. Now, if I hit the search button the way this is right now, I'll probably get 3,000 listings. The reason being is it's going to pull everything from our MLS and every other MLS. The beautiful tool as it is, if we scroll down all the way to the bottom, it says exclude listings from what MLS? Well, I don't need our MLS because I can look that up on my own. What I'm looking for is hidden ones that don't exist. I'll hit the search button. Look how many in Windermere. Whoa, withdrawn, withdrawn. Opportunities for listings. Opportunities for listings. Oh, there's an active one if you need an active one under $1 million. Terminated, 675 in Windermere. 620 terminated. All you got to do is reach out and find out why. Okay? Does this work for anywhere in our area? Say yes. Yeah, Kissimmee, I'll pull up a ton. Dr. Phillips, I'll pull up a ton. You just got to use this beautiful tool. That's what it's there for. Any questions?
Ronnie, will this be available to watch it later?
What's that? This recording?
This training. Yes.
Because you asked, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, they're recording it. Ask at the front desk and you can find it then. They're gonna have it for you guys, okay? All right, any other questions?
Ronnie, I know on the Facebook page, sometimes you guys have docs loaded, but I joined a little later. Can you upload the docs to me? And I wanted it too.
Hold on, you're breaking up a little bit.
Can you or someone, add the docs to the chat? Cause me and Myra joined a little later.
Oh, you came late? Oh, my goodness.
It was 1:07.
I, you okay. So you want me to add it to the thing?
To the chat, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
All right, let me stop sharing.
Thank you.
And I gotta add it to the chat, right? Okay. Should we let them have it? Say yes.
Well, I asked and no one added it, so Ronnie, they did not want to share.
Miranda said we gotta let you have it, so I'm gonna let you guys have it. There's one, there's two, and I'm kind of glad you just asked that question because there's one thing I didn't go over that I would like to go over with you guys. Okay, and there's three. Okay, you have all three now, and what I want to do is, where's my share screen? I'm gonna go here, and do I have it up?
Thank you.
Of course, no worries. All right, let me bring that up. I'm gonna reduce it. Okay, and come up yet. There we go. Okay, this sheet here, if you guys have an appraiser, tap them for information. If you don't have an appraiser, Kelly Kellogg, she wrote the book. It's called ABCs of Appraisals. Should be on the second page. Call for a CE approved class, top ABCs of CMA. That's a book out there you can get. Anyway, Kelly came here, taught a couple of times in this office, has provided us with the sheet. It's updated for 2020 on basically what the CMA adjustment guide, it's a hypothetical sample. In other words, if your property is a 4-3 without a pool, and the property you're looking at has a pool, based on the price range, okay, this is what you would comp it at or add to the compage. Does everybody understand what I mean by that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then again, if the property doesn't have, you would subtract for that, okay? But this is a great tool to use if in fact you need a little more assistance. Okay, and it's just a general guide for resales, like it say, they vary by market, so it's not, true to form, but if you do have, if you need appraisal help, Kelly is very receptive, okay? Go to her website, you can look at the things she has to offer. And that's about it, guys. I mean, that's just an extra tool to help you out, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So the last thing that I'm going to do for you guys is, remember I mentioned about the mobile version of RPR. So I'm going to see if I can get that up and running here. Just give me a sec. Whew. Let me see. may or may not work. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get the phone so I can show it. Let me just try one more time. See if we can get this going. Doesn't look like we're going to get it up. I'm sorry. All right, so the Realtors Property Resource mobile app, if you use it on your phone, basically works the same exact way as the standalone. And what I mean by that is it will show you listings. You can look up listings. You can view reports from there. It's basically just a small version of your desktop. What else can you do with that? Well, I've used it out in the field where I'm standing there with a client and the client says, hey, I want to see this property XYZ. And the property, I didn't have it on my list. And because I didn't have it on my list, how else was I going to have the data? Now, old school way would have been what? Oh, I'll go back to the office, I'll do some research and I'll get it to you. Yeah, but that takes time, number one. Number two, you might lose the sale in the interim because it took you too much time to get yourself up and going with that. So with RPR, even out in the field, you would be able to give them information right there. So if you were to bring up a property, it would still give you a RVM. It would give you a confidence score. You could actually do a CMA from your phone or tablet. I've used it on my tablet too, and send it to them. And you could also do it from there. The other nice thing, you could be out and about and they say, well, this is in our school zone. Could you find us another property? You could do reverse property search right from your phone. So you didn't have to go and look up anything else and do it right there. Produce reports that are really nice, that would help your buyer to make the decision. Oh, good Lord, I just got lucky. Hold on. I think I got it. Let me see. Where's Zoom? Okay, so can you see it? That's what RPR looks like on a mobile version. What it does is it goes a half-mile radius from where we're at. So you got for sale properties, you got new listings, recently sold. If you swipe once to the left, it gives you the median sale price that's going on in this area. It gives you the median listing price. It will give you the median sales price, how much it's appreciated in 12 months. This makes you the all-knowing, all-telling realtor, okay? If you swipe to the left again, you now can look up by address, MLS, schools. Remember I talked about schools. So very easily you can look at schools. You can go by school district or geography. I'm going to go real quickly with geography, and I'm going to go 32819. Okay. I'm going to search. It's going to come up with a big monster list like this. Elementary schools. You hit the list, it'll give you the list. We have Dr. Phillips as the first one right up the block. All I got to do is click on find nearby properties. It'll search and find me those properties. Okay. So let's say my client is in the 800 range. There it is, 805. Okay. Oh, that's a sold one. Let me get one that's for sale. 740, come on, 780. 780 list price, 5-bedroom, 4-bath. I click on loading data. Right on the phone, it gives you pictures, everything that's going on, sale pending, okay? It gives you an RVM of 862.5. Is that a good RVM? Hit the blue button, arrow down, it's 5 stars. 5 stars, what did we learn? It should be almost where the RVM is. Are they getting a deal at 780? Everybody say yes. Okay, great tool to use. What else does it give you? It gives you a lot of information. Okay, would you use this information? Maybe. You might need this. You could need this. I used it one day when I was up in North Jersey. I have a brother that's younger than me. And I used it just to, have a little conversation. He has said to me he will never use a realtor. He will only go for sale by owner because he doesn't want to pay the commission. I haven't used any scripts on him yet. Don't intend to. No worries. But I'd have to refer a realtor to him. Anyway, this is his property, 44 Essex Street. That's in Bellevue, New Jersey. Okay. It's worth 365 right now. The RVM is 4 stars. I told him if he wants a CMA, I'll be happy to do it for him. Anyway, if you scroll down, you'll see when it was sold. It was back in 87 when he bought it. Okay. Keep scrolling down. You'll see owner's name. That's my brother and my sister-in-law, Patricia. So now as I'm scrolling down, I'm just looking at him and I'm telling him, okay, so Belleville High School is not that great in this neighborhood, whatever. So I said, Chris, let me ask you a question. On 10/28/2011, do you still have the loan for $150,000 with loan number M-1000 2007-122-242 with UBS AG Tampa branch? Anyway, the steam coming out of his head, I wish I had a picture about that. And he said to me, and I quote, "How do you know that? You're not supposed to know that." I said, "I'm a realtor and I'm supposed to know that. Anything else you need, let me know. Let me be your consultant." My friends, this is the power that you have of RPR. Use it to your advantage because your buyers, sellers, investors already know this information and use it against you. Okay? All right, so I'm going to end it on there. If there are any questions, anyone has questions, please do not hesitate to ask those questions. That's why I'm here.
No, this has been great. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
Now, I just realized who popped in on me there. Myra.
Yeah.
God. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Myra is part of my morning family from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with the Cary, North Carolina group. Thank you for coming and showing up. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. That's why I was asking, where can I get this recorded? And you say in the front desk.
Oh, well, I'll get a recording. I'll get it to you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
But thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Everybody.
And where are you located, Myra?
In Palm Harbor, Florida. Tampa,
Palm
2
Harbor,
hours.
Florida. Who needs a referral? Anybody. Okay, don't be afraid.
Yes.
And Myra, you have Florida just like that. So let me ask you while we got you here, what is your MLS?
Estella. It's the
Oh,
same
you're
one
in
that you
Florida.
have.
Okay, so we're in the
Yes.
same one. So that's good because we still have leverage because even with you being on the coast there, right? You're in the coast, Palm Harbor?
Correct.
Yeah. So see, there's stuff that we don't know that you could help us with. That's a good leverage tool.
Anytime I'm here, just send me a text and I'll be glad to help.
Thank you, Mara. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
You're
So I know we're supposed to go to 3, but I'll cut you off early. We're not supposed to go to 3. I'll just let you guys go unless there's any other questions. You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Jordan.
Great information.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye, Ronnie. Bye-bye, everybody.